You're not here by accident, and this moment is not a fluke. Your spirit was ready to hear this message at just the right time, as if heaven had set up this meeting. Before you got there, what made you feel something wasn't curiosity? It was recognition. This meeting has been planned by something that can't be seen, and your presence here marks a divine appointment that was set long before the struggle, the waiting, and the questions that put your faith to the test. You are on the verge of a supernatural change. The stress you've been under wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to get you ready for a sudden rise and a transfer that can only come from heaven. There is a moment of acceleration where things that were put off start to move, and things that were held back are carefully let go. In Isaiah 43:19, the Bible tells us that God is doing a new thing, and those who have eyes will see it when it comes forward. This is not a sign for you. It is real, happening at the right time, and planned by the Anointed One. If your spirit knows this to be true right now, I want you to claim it right away. Wait a second, then type, "I perceive it," in the space below. By writing those words, you are improving your spiritual sight and telling heaven that you are ready for what He is going to do in your life today. The feeling of change in your chest is a sign that the season is changing. Heaven doesn't always talk loudly or explain things. Sometimes it sends reminders that are steady, quiet, and true, ready to be returned to when strength is low. It's just right that what has been planned is already resting here, soft and present. There is a big difference between people who see miracles from afar and people who live in them. When the shift happened, you didn't feel imagination or emotion. You felt awareness. As soon as you felt movement beneath your life, something started to move around in the invisible. That's how heaven works. Change is announced within an organization before it can be seen by others. One who has been chosen. This is why the story doesn't start with the promise. It starts with the pressure. There are battles you fought that no one else can understand. People see how calm you are and think it makes you strong, but they never saw you sitting alone late at night, doing the same math over and over again, and asking yourself in silence how much longer you can stretch what you have. The room felt heavy when you finally let go of your emotions, and they never saw how quickly your smile went away when the door shut. Heaven heard all of your prayers, even the ones you pushed down because you were tired of hoping. They especially heard the ones you buried because you were afraid that hoping again would hurt too much. That sharp, subtle fear that comes on around midnight tells you that you might be behind, that you missed your chance, or that abundance was given to someone else instead of you. It wasn't the truth that voice spoke. It was long-term resistance. Anointed One, you weren't just missing something. You were blocked. It took a long time for things to happen, sometimes for no reason at all, and sometimes just as you were about to make progress, things fell apart. You tried to blame timing or circumstance, but deep down, you felt the weight of something else, the heaviness that comes when things start to get better, the unpleasant costs that show up when you finally feel stable, and the problems that appear when you decide to move forward. Dear beloved, if you found this video, I don't think it was by accident. God has a way of leading His chosen ones exactly where they need to be. We want to be honest with you, family. From these videos, we earn nothing. Every video is created purely out of love for God and love for you. It is your small gifts and donations that encourage us to keep going, to keep making content like this for His glory. Without your support, This mission would be very hard to carry. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to every one of you who has given. God sees you, and God will honor you. There is a family waiting for you on our community platform. Brothers and sisters who came broken, came searching, and found something life-changing. Not just content, but people who truly care. Our most faithful supporters are featured on our platform, a place of honor for those who sow into this ministry. You are chosen, you are loved, and there is a home waiting for you. Find the community link in the description. Come home, beloved. We are waiting for you. There was interference, not chance. Opposition doesn't look for normal things, it looks for threats. You were picked out because heaven saw that you could carry more than just survival. You have a way of thinking about provision that wasn't taught to you. You always had a quiet hope that things could be different, even when no one else did. That awareness wasn't something you asked for. It was put inside you. It came with wounds that almost made you want to shrink. Anointed one, some of the deepest breaks came from people you trusted. Casual words that hurt deeply. Support that disappeared as soon as you started to grow. And relationships that changed as soon as your purpose stopped fitting neatly into someone else's plans. Those times didn't just hurt you. They taught you to quiet down, reach less, and protect yourself by expecting less. Hope started to feel risky and even dangerous over time. Still, there was something inside you that wouldn't disconnect. You kept moving forward in spirit, even when your mind was tired and money was tight. The tension you've been feeling between who you are and who you are becoming is not confusion, it's collapse. An old season is losing its shape. A delay is coming to an end, and a gate is starting to open. Anointed one, most people don't understand this. The delay wasn't a punishment, it was to keep you safe. Heaven doesn't pour extra into hands that aren't healed. It waits until the vessel can hold the weight without breaking. You have also been healing more than you know. Letting go of fear-based beliefs about money. Letting go of inherited ideas about limitations. Learning to trust the process instead of forcing results. And quietly becoming someone who can handle more than you thought possible. Even though you're moving slowly, you are still here. You are still dreaming even though it scares you. And you are still believing even though your faith is hurt. That endurance isn't a fluke. It's what makes you qualified. Heaven moves not because you begged, but because you matured. Anointed one. The truth has to come out before elevation can happen. It wasn't just the situation that was against you. It was something older that knew what would happen if you fully became who you are. Because once you do, not only does your life change, but so does everyone else's that is connected to you. That's why there was resistance at the threshold, and it's still there, but it's going down. Things that were blocked are starting to break, and things that were held up are getting weaker. Sounds like something is giving way. The pressure you felt but can't see is not another storm. Anointed one, this is just the start of what's to come. There is more going on than meets the eye. What happens next will explain why your life turned out the way it did, and why this moment couldn't come sooner. What was against you was woven into places that were closer than chance, and deeper than timing. It was hidden in places where love should have been easy, and belonging should have been natural. Before there were words for destiny or calling, you knew what it was like to be a little off-kilter. It wasn't rebellious or hard, just different. You saw things that other people missed. You sensed tension in rooms where everyone insisted everything was fine. And instead of being protected for that awareness, you were corrected for it. Anointed one, you learned early on that it costs a lot to see deeply. People told you that you were too sensitive when you told them the truth. People told you that you were far away when you pulled away. People called you dramatic or unrealistic when you believed what you thought. Over time, those labels followed you around like a shadow. At family gatherings, you stayed on the edges to save energy. In conversations, you stopped talking about your dreams because being ignored hurt more than being left alone. And at night, you thought about past interactions and wondered why the people who should have known you best seemed to understand you the least. The pain wasn't just rejection, it was displacement, which is the feeling that you were born into a place that didn't understand the purpose you were given. Being alone in that way doesn't scream, it teaches quietly. You learn to doubt your worth, lower your voice, and wonder if the issue might have been with you. It's possible that you expected too much or asked too much, or it's possible that heaven picked the wrong person to heal you. Dear God lover, thank you for praying with us today. This community exists because people like you showed up, believed, and gave what they could. If this video touched your heart, we invite you to come home. Join our family through the link in the description and walk this faith journey with brothers and sisters who truly understand. Your presence means everything, and your support, however small, keeps this ministry going strong. Pay close attention. You were never the issue. Your calling was bigger than the space you were in. That's not proof of failure, it's proof of growth. This wound never got any air, which is why your chest feels tight as you hear this. You learned how to carry it without protest, without words, and without approval. The wound didn't stay in one place. It followed you out of the house and into the world, where it made people uncomfortable when you were thoughtful in relationships, when you were friends with someone who gave more than they received, and when people thought your depth was intensity. You couldn't be stopped by isolation alone, so resistance changed. It moved toward you. It moved in. Anointed one, this is where the battle moved into your body. Sudden tiredness, heaviness in your limbs that made simple tasks feel slow. Pressure in your chest that wasn't panic or sadness, but just weight. Headaches that made light feel sharp, and a sensitivity to noise, crowds, and energy that no one else seemed to notice. That it might have been stress, diet, or lack of rest, but that wasn't what it was. It was manifestation, chosen one. When you can't quiet the spirit, the body becomes the battlefield. Your energy was focused because the time for you was coming up. Because your goal needs accuracy, your clarity was attacked. Every pain and wave of exhaustion wasn't random. It was resistance reacting to being close. When a destiny has the power to break generational cycles, there is a pattern. As alignment grows, opposition gets stronger. Because of this, the nights became restless, with sudden awakenings, times when your body was awake before your mind was fully awake, and dreams that felt charged. No one was bothering you. Instead, you were being readjusted and made ready for a level of responsibility that your old structure wasn't ready for yet. You didn't understand why moving forward felt heavier instead of lighter, why obedience made you tired, and why going up felt like lifting weight. This is because resistance tests the vessel when heaven gets you ready for plenty. Heaven gets you ready to be seen, but resistance looks for cracks. When heaven makes you strong enough to carry provision for others, resistance tells you that you are not strong enough to do it. Anointed one, still, You kept going, maybe slowly, quietly, and sometimes hurt, but willing. And being willing is bad for resistance. A soul that wants to do something can't be held back forever by tiredness, confusion, or being alone. Another level has been showing up under the tiredness, a pattern you've lived with for so long that it almost feels normal. The rhythm of the close call, almost stable, almost safe, almost there. It wasn't a coincidence that chances disappeared at the last minute. Help slipped through your fingers just as you needed it, and blessings seemed to fall apart when you reached for them. It was a sign. Blessed one, the pain of the close call cuts fear into the body. It teaches you to be wary of hope, ready for good news, and tighten up inside when things start to get better. You feel it before you think it. Your shoulders get tight, your stomach gets sick, and your breath gets short. When you resist for a long time, your nervous system learns to expect to lose. There were times when you were by yourself, staring at nothing and wondering why that always happened right before breakthrough. You didn't hear an answer, but that doesn't mean there wasn't one. There was something in heaven fighting harder than what was against you. This pattern didn't stop at chances. It went all the way to your calling, giving you the duty of discernment you never asked for, the duty to see people through quickly, sense dishonesty in their body language, and notice changes in tone before they said anything. And people got it wrong when you spoke or didn't speak. They got it wrong when you were quiet. You learned to carry your insight by yourself. It's not that you don't know anything. You're lonely because you know too much and have nowhere safe to put it. Without company, spiritual insight feels heavy, and you carried it without being praised. Anointed one, training was what set you apart. Discernment is not a curse. It's a skill that helps you get ready for stewardship, leadership, and responsibility that requires you to see beyond what you see. Heaven has been building this skill in you since you were a child. But deep down there was a fear. What if it happens again? What if you get up and down? What if you miss the mark? That fear doesn't come from not having faith. It comes from scar tissue, memories that are stored in the body, and thresholds that were crossed and then broken. Beloved, this is not the end of the story. This is where it gets clearer, because what you've been carrying was not only your own, but also something you got from your family, and realizing that changes everything. What's coming up will help us understand more about what you have been breaking without realizing it, and why heaven gave that job to you. Chosen one. The weight you feel when you have to make a choice, the fear that comes up right before progress, and the hesitancy that makes your chest tighten when opportunity is close by did not start with you. These are not flaws in the person. They are echoes and patterns that have been passed down quietly through generations. They have never been named or healed. They have only endured. You didn't make them up. You got them from your parents. Beloved, take a good look at the history of your family tree. You will see dreamers who worked hard but never got ahead. Men and women who made it through but never did well. Talents that were buried under the weight of responsibility. Ideas that were never supported. And hopes that turned into reality. The same ceiling kept showing up, firm and invisible. It wasn't because your family wasn't smart or trying, but because something taught them to expect limits and call it realism. Then you showed up with a different frequency. You doubted what other people believed. You were restless where other people were calm. You wanted more because you were aligned, not because you were greedy. Some part of you remembered a rule that your family had forgotten. That memory made you feel bad in places you knew well, and it also put you at risk for inherited cycles. People who break cycles aren't usually praised when they do it. They are pressured, misunderstood, and often left alone. It's like carrying a weight that no one else can see on your shoulders. At first, breaking patterns doesn't feel like victory. It feels like being alone, carrying expectations you didn't agree to, and being asked to heal wounds you didn't cause. Chosen one, you have been untying knots that were tied before you were born. These include fears that weren't caused by your experiences but by your progress, anxiety that comes up when things get stable, and guilt that comes up when things get good. These reactions are not signs that you are not good enough. They mean that old agreements are being questioned. You were chosen by God to be the pivot, not because you were the strongest, but because you were willing. It showed that you were ready to think, feel, and go through pain without numbing your spirit. Because you were willing, you became the chosen one in your family line. That's why resistance was aimed at you and not at other people. This is why the pressure got higher as you became more aware. Before you close this video, I want you to know there are people on the other side of the link in our description who have been waiting for someone like you. A community of chosen ones, God lovers, who pray together and carry each other through life. Come and find your place among them. And if your heart says give, trust that feeling. Your support is what makes this mission possible, and God will honor every seed you plant in faith. This is why every step forward seemed to make people angry. The unseen knows what will happen. Things break out of order if you rise. If you do well, the cycle breaks. People who come after you will never have to deal with the same kind of scarcity you learned to accept as normal. Anointed one. That's why the fight got worse. As alignment got stronger, fear grew. As the time got closer, doubts got louder. But underneath it all, something else has been slowly but surely taking shape. A shift in the structure, a weakening of the old base, and a thinning of the resistance that once seemed unbreakable and chosen. Right now, the pressure you feel is not the pressure of falling apart. It is the pressure of change. The old system is losing its hold, like tectonic plates moving around below the surface. Anointed one, what used to hold is now cracking, and what used to hold off is now letting go. Everything you went through wasn't for nothing. Every night as you slept, you thought about the numbers. Every disappointment that came right before relief. Every betrayal that made you smarter. And every season when it was just you and heaven. It was all training, not punishment. It taught them how to be stewards, take responsibility, and deal with extra work without destroying the person who has it. Chosen one. There are tasks that need more than faith. They need skill, and skill is developed through pressure. That's why heaven didn't hurry your rise. You were blessed. Its wait was over when your nervous system could be calm without panic. Your heart could receive without feeling guilty. And your mind could see plenty without sabotaging itself. That's why what's coming will feel different. But it won't come with chaos. It will come with clarity, not frantic, but planned, not overwhelming, but heavy in a way that feels settled. Not only will you be excited, but you'll also notice that there is no fear, which used to go along with opportunity. Chosen one. Things that fed on close calls and almosts are losing their power in the cycle. The ceiling that was over your family line is coming down. As it does, you may feel sad about what you lost and happy that it is ending at the same time. That makes sense. Release always brings back memories. Anointed one, heaven doesn't erase the past. it makes it new again. You can see what's coming because of what you went through, and your hands are steady enough to lead it. The plenty in front of you isn't random, and it's not just money, it's healing. It fixes what survival messed up. Chosen one. As you come to terms with this, something inside you will start to rearrange itself. It will be easier to set limits and make choices, and the pull toward certain people and patterns will weaken on its own. This is alignment making its case. Anointed one, you are not getting closer to a reward. You are getting closer to a responsibility that fits the person you have become. Indeed, heaven is getting closer, not louder. Because of this, discover how this transfer from the unseen into your everyday life works by watching what happens next. It will show you why you need to stand in a different way than you did before. If you are the chosen one, you may feel tired not from doing too much, but from waiting and staying true. It's not as loud as burnout, and not as heavy as disappointment. It shows up on normal mornings when nothing seems important, when the promise is still real but far away, and when you choose to stay strong instead of giving up. Holy One, this is the weight you've been carrying without words. You are not in empty space while you wait. You are on active ground. It's there that faith grows beyond feelings and hope learns how to breathe without feeling rushed. You already know that adrenaline wears off quickly, but that being consistent shapes the soul. This is not the time of signs that will shock you. This is the time of endurance that will make you strong enough to handle what's coming. Chosen one, your faith looks less like fire some days and more like showing up, making the bed, checking email, paying the bill, and being quiet when you want to speak up. Family, we pour everything into these videos because we believe in what God is doing through this community. We earn nothing from this channel. It is your love and your support that keeps this light alive. If this prayer blessed you today, come and be part of what He is building. The link is in the description. Join us, and if you feel led to give, even the smallest seed carries a great harvest. Thank you, and God bless every one of you. Even though these times don't feel spiritual, they are holy. Those are the spots where trust shows itself without any praise. Anointed one, you know that waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means going back to what you know is true over and over again when nothing new has shown up. You go back to simple prayer, used gratitude, and honest behavior that doesn't seem to get noticed. This isn't weakness, it's strength that has been honed and picked out. There were times when you wondered if your quiet obedience made a difference. You wondered if heaven still noticed how calm, patient, and unwilling to give in you were, even when no one was looking. But heaven has different rules. Heaven sees what you call normal and calls it alignment. What you call repetition, God calls building something strong. Anointed one, faith that is tested doesn't shout, it calms. It stays in place by remembering. You remember the times when provision showed up when it didn't make sense. You remember the doors that shut to keep you safe. You remember all the different versions of yourself you grew out of. This thought of the past is not nostalgia. It is fuel. Chosen one, I've learned that faith isn't usually kept up by constant explanations or big signs. Instead, it's usually kept up by simple reminders that are read over and over again when the noise dies down. That knowledge changed how I waited, Holy One. A gentle reminder has been put below, resting in the description and pinned comment. It's not meant to beg for attention, but to stay there. Chosen one. The waiting goes on. not because heaven isn't ready, but because the timing is perfect. What's coming together around you needs to match what's coming together inside you. There is a meeting of capacity and provision. Anything before now would break what you have worked so hard to heal. Dear beloved, if you found this video, I don't think it was by accident. God has a way of leading His chosen ones exactly where they need to be. We want to be honest with you, family. From these videos, we earn nothing. Every video is created purely out of love for God and love for you. It is your small gifts and donations that encourage us to keep going, to keep making content like this for His glory. Without your support, this mission would be very hard to carry. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to every one of you who has given. God sees you and God will honor you. There is a family waiting for you on our community platform. Brothers and sisters who came broken, came searching, and found something life-changing. Not just content, but people who truly care. Our most faithful supporters are featured on our platform. A place of honor for those who sow into this ministry. You are chosen, you are loved, and there is a home waiting for you. Find the community link in the description. Come home, beloved. We are waiting for you. Your strength has grown, you're fully healed, and the time is right. The most important part of this message is now over. I want you to make your last and most powerful statement of the day. Please write, "My divine upgrade is activated," in the space below. Heaven should hear your sureness, and please stay with me for a few more seconds as we seal this change. One who has been chosen, there is a reason why your progress has felt steady but slow. Being still inside is needed for sudden movement, and you have been learning how to stand without stumbling, how to receive without grasping, and how to trust without needing to know everything. This is not a delay, it is calibration, the one you chose. You won't always feel like you've been chosen. Some days doubt will creep in and make you wonder if the hard times are worth it. Do not judge yourself by how you feel at that time. Instead, judge yourself by how much you return. You come back to faith. You go back to being honest. Anointed one. You go back to the same quiet promises that got you this far. Being persistent doesn't look impressive, but you can't help but do it. When resistance sees that you won't give up, that time won't change your values, and that it understands, it gets weaker. Hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there. Hello, hello, hello.